What's up, everybody? Thank you for clicking on the link. This is going to be my review of Greenleaf Season 2, Episode 3, entitled A Mother's Love. Okay, we are at the point where things around the Greenleaf household are kind of, I guess you could say, kind of temporarily back to normal. Jacob Greenleaf and Clarissa and their daughter Zora have moved out of the house. That's the only thing that has changed in this episode, but things are going along casually as usual. And but this particular episode starts off with Gigi and her daughter going to school. She has allowed Sophia to drive her to school. And when she's getting ready to leave, she gets a phone call, a strange phone call, and she has to hurry up and rush off somewhere. And come to find out, the young girl Danielle, I think they showed her last season, who had been molested by Mac, one of his many victims in the city of Memphis, Tennessee, where they all live. She tried to kill herself. So Gigi had called 911 for her. She went to the hospital to see the girl. And she talked to her and she asked her why she tried to kill herself. And the little girl told her, not little girl, she's a teenager. She tells her that she's being bullied and picked on at school and on social media. People are calling her names, and someone had put a pair of underwear in her locker and wrote the word slut in the seat of the underwear. I mean, just really low down. And you know how bad and horrible kids can be sometimes. Well, they're making her feel bad, so she tried to kill herself, okay? I guess she took a whole bunch of pills and they had to take her to the hospital and pump her stomach, okay? So Gigi goes to see her, and they change scenes, and they go to Lady May. Lady May is still kind of sulking over the fact that Jacob and Clarissa have left, because she's up in the part of the house where they were living at, and it's all empty and everything, and she's walking through feeling a little bit sad. The bishop walks up on her and notices that she's sad, and he hugs her a little bit and tries to comfort her or whatnot. But they show that part, and that's all. They don't really say a whole lot in that particular scene. They move on to the next scene. And the next scene, they show Mac. Mac has actually relocated. He's moved from that big fancy penthouse that he used to live in. He's actually living in a small regular apartment now, okay, like us regular folk. Well, he's living in an apartment, and he's looking out of the window, out of his patio window, and he notices that those child molester flyers that have been circulating with his picture on it, he notices that they have been put on cars throughout the parking lot in the apartment community. He sees that, and then he looks up and he sees a lady with her two teenagers. She's got a teenage son and a teenage daughter that looks to be about 15 years old, and ironically. And the lady, the mother, has one of the flyers in her hand, and she's looking at the picture, and she notices Mac looking down at her and her kids. And she looks at Mac, and then she looks at her picture, and she realizes that this is the same dude on this photo. And so she grabs her kids and she hustles on off with her kids. And the little girl, ironically and strangely enough, she looks up at Mac and she smiles at him, okay? And they leave, okay? So that was a kind of an interesting moment. But he's looking all crazy and all mad as if somebody has done something to him, like he's the victim. But of course, we all know the truth there. Okay. Then it shows Kevin and Charity at home. I guess she's packing a baby bag. And Kevin gets a call from his mom, and they are making arrangements for her to come and visit for the first time since God knows how long, because she hadn't even seen the baby yet. And she hadn't seen Kevin in quite some time either. And so he's making arrangements with her for her to come on. And when he gets off the phone, Charity looks over at him and asks him, is he going to tell his mother why she hadn't been able to come and see the baby? You know, because of the fact that he was staying in a hotel, and the fact that he had admitted to Charity last season that he was dealing with homosexuality. And so he didn't want to tell his mom what the real problem was between him and Charity. So he told her, no, I'm not going to tell her. He'll think of something to tell her, okay? So the next scene, it shows Jacob. Jacob goes to visit Basie Skanks. Now, y'all know what a name like Skanks, he got to be low down and dirty. I can't even imagine them giving him such a character name like this, unless they intended to imply, the writers, that is, or the creator of the show, unless they intended for us to know and imply that Basie is pretty much a pimp in the church, okay? Skanks. Ugh. So anyway, he goes to visit Basie, and he tells Basie he's got a problem. He needs to talk to him. And Basie pimps on over there until he's like, talk to me. Tell me what's going on. And he lets him know that the plans for the excavation of the new church it's not going like they thought it was going to go. It's going to cost extra money because they underestimated the actual water table versus the, what did he call it? The land survey that they did. It actually, they underestimated. So the drainage ditches, or putting the drainage pipes in, is going to cost a little bit more than what they thought. And it's going to cost somewhere up in the upper $350,000 to $400,000. And so Basie's like, whew, you know, obviously, like, that's a lot of money. So of course, he puts the responsibility on Jacob to come up with the money to fund that. I don't know why, because it's still his church. Just because he made Jacob the pastor doesn't make Jacob responsible for the finances. You know, it's his church and he needs to be thinking of a way. So anyway, he makes him responsible for doing that, and he tells Jacob to go and ask some of the members for the money. Of course, Jacob didn't want to do that, but he mentions one member in particular by the name of Clara Jackson. Clara Jackson had won a Powerball lottery in Memphis, Tennessee, the year before. And he's like, hopefully she hadn't spent all that money up. And Jacob was like, she ain't that kind of money. She ain't gonna throw her money away. So he told her, yeah, go on over there and ask her for it. You know, like I said, Jacob didn't want to do it, but he agrees to go see her and whatnot. Okay, so he gets up and he leaves. All right. So then they show Sophia and Zora. They're at school and they're having lunch. And Zora's getting text messages while she's sitting there talking to Sophia. And some of the text messages are about events. And she asked Sophia, would she go with her to the youth conference that they're going to be having over at Triumph? And Zora was like, Sophia was like, yeah, if you just want some company, I'll come with you. And she was like, once, I need you to come over there with me. See, that little Zora, that little heifer is always up to something. She's sneaky. And Clarissa tried to act all uppity with her butt on her shoulders. Her daughter right up under her nose. She can't even trust her own child. Well, anyway, I'm going to get back to that later. Because y'all have already seen, if you've been watching Greenleaf, you've watched it last season, you know what she's capable of, okay? So, anyway, while she's sitting there talking to Sophia, she's getting other text messages from none other than Isaiah. Because Sophia said, who's that? And she says, oh, it's Isaiah. All matter of fact, and she's giggling and smiling and stuff at these text messages that she's getting. So Sophia, of course, is looking crazy and she's looking all, perplexed, because as we know, Sophia really likes Isaiah. And Zora behaved as if she didn't even want him. She was trying to push Sophia up on her, but here she is going behind Sophia's back and she's communicating with this dude. So Zora just ain't no good. She may only be 14 or 15 years old. Or no, she's 16, I think. But I'm telling you, that little girl is trifling. Real trifling, okay? And I don't like her, okay? Just like I don't like her mama, but I'm going to get to that later. So anyway, she leaves, they sit there. Sophia looks crazy. So they leave off from that scene and they go to the scene where Jacob actually goes to see Miss Clara. Now, obviously, he hadn't seen Clara Jackson in a long time because she's surprised to see him. She's happy to see him, but she's like, what brings you here? And as they get to talking, and before she asks him what brings him there to see her, she starts telling him about, he was like, I don't mean to bother you. I hope this is a good time. She was like, yeah, this is the best time, because her husband had apparently died. She was accustomed to him coming to see her. She was accustomed to him being there with her. And she said, this is a good time for you to come visit me. Okay. So he's sitting there talking to her, but he can't bring himself to ask her for the money because she starts telling him what she's been going through dealing with other people asking for money. And she was like, she makes a comment. She said, you know what they say? The love of money is the root of all evil. And so when she tells him what her money problems are since she's won this Powerball lottery and how people have been begging her and the things she's gone through, he can't bring himself to ask her for any money. He feels guilty. He feels bad about even coming there to ask her for it. And so she asked him, she said, what is it? What made you come over here and see me? And he was like, I just missed you. I just missed you. And she was like, oh, okay. And it's good to see you. So they end off on that note. And the next scene, Gigi goes to visit Clarissa at the, she goes to visit Clarissa. And she goes to see her at the parsonage. that she's living in. And she's going to pick up Sophia as well after school. So Danielle, she goes there to ask her if she would help Danielle get into a private school, because Gigi wants to take Danielle out of the school she's in because she doesn't want her to be continuously subjected to all of the bullying that she's been going through. So she goes there asking Clarissa to help her, because Clarissa is like the head mistress. She's over the private school right now, and I think the name of the private school that they're over is called Excellence. And she, but when Gigi asked her, she says, I just want to know if you got any room for her, if you can help her get into another school, assumably Excellence. But Clarissa gets her butt up on her shoulder, got her nose in the air, and she says, well, she can't come to Excellence because Sophia and Zora are there. As if these children are so much better than everybody else. Like I said, she don't even know her own daughter. Okay? Danielle, what happened to Danielle happened against her will. But her daughter gets in trouble on purpose. But yet she has the unmitigated gall to say she doesn't want this girl going to the school with her daughter. I just can't with Clarissa. I wish she would just leave her peanut head self. I wish they write her out of the script. Okay? Between her and Charity and Kevin, I can do without all three of them. But anyway, she says, I will help her get into Hancock. No, I'm sorry, not Hancock. She tells her she's going to help her get into this other school. And I want to say the name of the school is, y'all, I thought I had written down, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, she's going to help. She's going to make some calls for her. She said, I'll make some calls to get Danielle into another school, okay? Of course, Gigi thanks her. And the whole time Gigi was there, she was trying to compliment Clarissa on the parsonage. Remember I said last episode that the parsonage was a small house. It was just a regular little old house. Nothing like the mansion at Greenleaf. It was just a little house, and Clarissa wasn't used to it. She wasn't happy with it, but her and Jacob just settled for it because they were just ready to get on out of Bishop Greenleaf's house. But Gigi tells her, she said, it's really not that bad. I like it. And so Clarissa, with her nose in the air, I really can't stand her. If y'all knew how much I didn't like her, you'd understand why I'm frowning up when I talk about her. But she looks over at Gigi and she tells her, she says, save your pity. If you hadn't moved back here, we wouldn't even have to live here, is what she told. If you hadn't come back to Greenleaf, we wouldn't even have to live here. Now, I don't know why she's blaming Gigi. I know Gigi came there and she turned things upside down and everything, but what exactly did Gigi have to do with Bishop Greenleaf sitting Jacob down because he was sleeping with or having an affair with that woman Alexis at the church? That's the only reason he sat him down in the first place. What did Gigi have to do with that? Y'all, somebody please refresh my memory in the comments to tell me, because I don't want to have to go back to season 1 to try to figure out where Gigi had anything to do with Jacob and her having to move to this parsonage. Please explain that one to me. But anyway, she blames her for it, and she gets real nasty and uppity with her, and she did the same thing Charity did to her in season 1 at that dinner table. Just went off on Gigi when Gigi was trying to be nice to her. So anyway, all right, so that scene ends. She goes to get Sophia for Gigi, because her whole purpose for going there in the first place was to pick up her daughter, okay? So then they show Kevin at one of his counseling meetings, his Christian meetings, and Charity still won't go to a meeting with him. And the coordinator asks him about it, but he says, we've come a long way. She still won't come to a meeting, but she is entertaining and hosting my mother. So that's a good thing. And so the coordinator tells him, yeah, that's a good thing. That's good. That is some progress and everything. So while they're at the meeting, he's talking to him, the counselor he's talking to him, and he passes out individual bottles of Ipecac syrup. Now, if anybody knows what Ipecac syrup, or doesn't know what Ipecac syrup is, Ipecac syrup is a substance, it's a liquid, it's an old school laxative type substance. I've never personally had any, but my mother tells me about it, and they obviously still sell it in some places, but people take it to make them vomit or to make their bowels move, is from what I heard. But mostly it induces vomiting when you may have ingested something you shouldn't have. He passes out this Ipecac syrup as part of their treatment, and he tells them every time they get an impure or wicked thought that they need to take a dose of it so it can make them gag, and to try to practice thinking how disgusting these thoughts is, so that every time they get the thought, they be in the habit of going ugh, or thinking it was gross and whatnot. So it's meant to be, it's a psychological trick that he's using with this ipecac syrup. And so all of them take it, you know, they take their bottle of ipecac syrup, and of course Kevin's sitting there while everybody else praying. He looking crazy with his bottle, but I guarantee you he gonna use it, okay? So anyway, then they show Grace. Grace is sitting in her car one night watching Mac. She has gone and she is stalking Mac, basically, in a good way. But she's out in his parking lot and she's watching him to see what he's got going on, because y'all have to remember, or if you've been watching this show, Grace is still not over the fact that Mac has been released. She's appalled and she's shocked that they even let him go free in the first place, and she's trying to find ways to get him locked back up again. She is hell-bent on making sure that Mac pays for the crimes that he committed against these young girls, especially her sister, who wound up committing suicide because he molested her. Okay? So she's on a mission to get Mac. All right? All right. Then they saw Zora and Sophia again. So it comes the day that they're at this youth convention at Triumph. And, well, of course, Zora invited Sophia. But when they first get there, they walk into the room. They're a little bit late getting there. And when they get to this particular concert part of it, Isaiah is already in there singing and everything. He's singing this nice, supposedly gospel song. But the way he was dancing and moving, I couldn't tell whether or not the boy was singing gospel or R&B, because he was just gyrating up on that stage. I said, okay then, Isaiah, you know, he's sort of a little cute fella and everything, but he up there gyrating and them little girls just loving it. Well, Zora and Sophia are looking through the window at him and they just ogling and they just amazed at him, and especially Zora. See, by this time, Sophia is kind of backing off because she sees what's happening. She sees that Zora is stealing her man right out from under her nose. So Zora leaves Sophia in the hallway looking through the window, and she goes on in and she stands there smiling. She wants him to see her from the stage. And of course he does see her. He jumps down off the stage and he walks back there to her, and he just singing kind of directly to her, and she's all blushing and whatnot and everything. So they're there for a little while, and they change from that scene and they go to Kevin and his mom. His mom actually arrives at the house in what I assume is an Uber. Okay? She comes to the house. Kevin is helping. He hugs his mom. He's helping her get her stuff out the car. And they go on up in the house, and there is Charity up there. And Charity's holding the baby and everything. And let's see. Charity's holding the baby, and that's when Kevin's mom, I think her name is Eveline or Ernestine or something like that. And she comes in and she sees Charity holding a baby, and she decides, she says, let me see that boy. Let me hold my grandbaby. So she holds the grandbaby and everything. And they change from that scene. So that's kind of a little moment between her, the baby, Charity, and everything. Kevin lets her know, she's getting ready to take her bags, or she wants Kevin to take her bags upstairs. But he's like, no, we don't have to do that. We got maids for that. That's what we hired them for. So apparently his mom is not used to all of this servitude and all of this help around the house. Okay, you can tell because she's looking all funny. She used to doing everything herself. Okay, so that's just the first of many weird situations for her. Okay, so then they show Gigi and Mr. Nash. She has finally decided to go out on a regular date with him, and she goes to lunch with him one day. And of course they get crab legs or whatever, and she can't open. She takes the mallet and she's just bamming, trying to get these crab legs open while they're sitting at the table, but she can't do it, so she had to pass her crab leg basket over to him and let him crack them for him. Okay, while they're sitting there having a conversation, she's getting a whole bunch of text messages. And he's like, you on fire today? You real popular today. She said, yeah, but not in a good way. And he's like, why? What's wrong? And she tells him about Danielle trying to kill herself, and that's why she's getting all these text messages, because she's talking to and dealing with Danielle and her mother and whatnot. And she's telling him how mad she is at the fact that Mac is free. She's expressing her anger to Mr. Nash, okay? Played by Rick Fox, okay? So, when they get through eating and everything, he tells her, or he asks her, he says, what do you have to do? Are you going back to work, or do you have some time to spare? And she's like, maybe. Why? And he tells her, he says, well, how would you like to go and blow off some real steam? And so she looks at him and he looks at her, and I guess they plan to have fun together, but we'll get back to that, okay? they show Zora and Sophia again. So they're outside standing in a hallway in between sessions, I guess, because they're at this youth conference, y'all. And Zora decides that she can't go to any more sessions. She invites Sophia to run off, sneak off with her and Isaiah. Of course, she probably knew Sophia was going to say no. She said, you want to come go with me and Isaiah to so-and-so? And she was like, Sophia was like, no, I'm not going to go. I'm going to stay here. And so Zora says, I can't go. I mean, Sophia tells her, she says, I thought you said you were going to be there. You were going. She says, I can't go. She starts telling her how her period is on and how it's just real, real bad. The cramps are so bad and she just can't possibly sit through any more sessions because of these cramps. They are of biblical proportions and everything. She just suffers. So she got to go. Makes up an excuse. So, of course, Sophia, she doesn't speak it, but she tells her, you go ahead and enjoy yourself. She's basically letting her know she's going to cover for her. Okay, so Zora runs off and she grabs Isaiah's hand and they trot on out the door hand in hand. Okay, up to no good, of course. So, all right, so Sophia is left there to cover for her. Okay, then they show Lady May. She's at church with the bishop and the secretary, and all of them are listening to a radio commercial that the bishop had done, like an interview type commercial where he was telling about Calvary Baptist, where they're listening to it and it sounds really, really good and everything. And he's talking about all the activities and programs they got going on at Calvary. And then all of a sudden, the DJ is like, that's enough for now. He cuts off the commercial right in the middle of the man trying to give his, little bit of, to do his commercial. So they looking crazy. Lady May is pissed. The bishop in the back, he pissed too. But of course, Lady May is always the first to speak up when she's dissatisfied with something. But she's like, what in the world has happened? Who did this? And the next thing you know, after it was cut off, Basie Skank's voice comes up and he does a commercial for his church. So they're like, oh my God, that Basie Skank's. And they realize that the DJ has cut them off because maybe he's got more money from Basie Skank's. He's cut the bishop's commercial off to go to Basie Skank's. Just Basie Skank's doing everything he can, basically, to piss off the bishop. Everywhere he can get in to upset him, he takes the chance, okay? So then, after this, during that conversation, Lady May says that she has paid these people, this DJ, $7,500, or she's paid the radio station $7,500 for ad space. She says she's going down there in person to talk to them herself, and she's going to demand that they give her at least an hour, and they're going to do it live. It ain't going to be no commercial sent in. She's going down there to make sure that she does it in person. So she going to take care of that thing, okay? $7,500 is a lot of money, okay? All right. So then they show Kevin and his mom again, and they're outside on the balcony of the Greenleaf mansion, and they're talking, and she asks him, she wants to know why he kept her away for so long. Why hadn't I seen this baby until now? She's trying to figure out what's going on with him. And he told her, he said, she's really upset about it, and he's like, Mom, we just needed some time. We just needed some time to ourselves to regroup and just to do what we do around here. He really didn't have a concrete reason for it. He just told her they needed time, him and Charity. And she just goes on and on about being upset about it. And she said the way that they live around there at that mansion. And she thinks that because he's got so many amenities and so much is done for him, she said, it's a wonder you don't need your own family anymore. You don't need me because you got everything here at the Greenleaf. She's upset at the fact that he kept her away, but he didn't keep the Greenleafs away. But she's forgetting that he lives in the Greenleaf's house too. Okay, so she had to think about that, but of course that didn't come up on the show. Okay, but she's upset with him about it, but he assures her that it was simply because him and Charity just needed some time to themselves. Okay. But she's not really satisfied with that answer. So that's why she tells him, it's a wonder you don't need family anymore. You already got everything. You don't need me. So she's feeling some kind of way about that. To me, Kevin's mom is a little strange. She's just a little weird to me. And I'm not all of that particular about her either. She's just sort of morbid, it's something about her. I can't put my finger on. She's nice, and I understand that she's upset, but the way she depicts her character is kind of low-key hateful to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's just the way I saw her. But, you know. Anyway. So they change from that scene and they show Gigi. Gigi is out with Mr. Nash. His idea for blowing off some steam was to go to a batting cage and actually practice batting. Now, y'all remember that. She practicing. And y'all ever looked at Gigi? Gigi got square hips. She kind of built like a boy, so to speak. Just real square. She ain't got no hips. I mean, she got hips, but they kind of square like an ironing board. And she looked, it was real obvious in them pants she had on at the batting cage. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I just noticed that. Anyway, and he tries to get chummy with her. He tries to get close to her. And he tries, you know how they do when you standing there with a back sort of bent over a little bit. He goes over and stands behind her, trying to show her how to stand. He was trying to cop a feel is what he was doing. And she told him to go on and stop getting fresh with her. But I thought that was real cute and romantic and everything. Real sweet and whatnot. Because he was trying to get touchy feeling and everything. So anyway, they finish batting, and next thing you know, she starts just slugging them balls, and she's hitting them real hard. Bam, bam, bam. I said, dog, Gigi mad. She starts taking her frustrations out. Okay, and so they change scenes, and they go back to Lady May and the bishop. And that's when they actually finish their conversation about the radio commercial being interrupted by Basie Skank's commercial. They actually cut theirs off for him to play his. Okay. But while they were in the office, what happened was the secretary comes in and she tells them that Clara just called. She was like, Clara wanted us to tell you hello, because immediately Lady May thought something must have been wrong. Clara called me? What's wrong? And the secretary was like, no, nothing's wrong. She just wanted to tell y'all hi. And she also wanted to tell y'all that Jacob came by to see her. So immediately after that, Lady May got mad, and she knew, because remember now, Clara had won Powerball. Jacob is in the process of building his new church. So Lady May immediately knew that Jacob must have gone over there to ask for money. She didn't like that at all. Lady May don't like begging. That's embarrassing to her. So of course, she had to deal with that. Okay, so after that scene, they show Sophia, and she's at the youth workshop listening to a sermon, some particular workshop she's listening to. Another young lady is giving a speech. And while she's there, she meets this young boy. It's a young man sitting behind her. And at the end of the speech, he reaches up and he shakes her hand. He introduces himself and she introduces herself. And you can see that there may be a little bit of connection there. She might be a little bit attracted to him and everything, because he's obviously attracted to her. So they walk out together talking to each other. Zora was supposed to be there, but she tells her that she said something to him about Zora. I can't remember what it was. But they're just having a little talk, walking down the hall as they're leaving. But Basie's wife walks up, and she's looking for Zora. She's like, Sophia, where's your cousin? I hadn't seen her all day. Her little country self. And Sophia made up the lie again. She told her what Zora said. She said, well, she's in the bathroom. And Basie's wife was like, she's been in there for 2 hours? Because she's real country. She been in there for 2 hours? She was like, well, she's having female problems. And, it's like real heavy, real heavy. She's flooding or whatever. So she lied for her, but you could tell that Basie's wife didn't believe her. She was like, maybe I'll go check on her. I'll go see about her and everything. But she let her know by her look that she doesn't believe that Zora is there. I think she's got an idea that Zora done skipped out on her. Okay? So then they go from that scene. She said, well, they ended the scene by Basie's wife saying, well, I'll go check on and minister to her. But Sophia doesn't say anything. She lets her walk on off. Okay, so then they saw Charity and Kevin's mom folding baby clothes together, and they're having a conversation. And the mom suggests that everything in their house should be real easy for Charity. She said you would have to be, when Charity was talking to her about the baby and how things are going good and everything, she said, well, you'd have to be an escaped convict or some kind of criminal not to be a good parent with all that help that you got in this house. And Charity kind of got offended when she said that. Charity said it's still hard work, a lot of work though. And so the mother tells her, she says, I'm not suggesting that it's not hard work. She's just saying that Actually, Charity resented her comment, and that's why she told her. It's still a lot of hard work, though. Mother, whatever her name is. And she says, I'm not saying that it's not. She says, I know you do a good job or whatnot. But she says, I know you have a lot of help around here. And they just have this conversation. She cleans it up some kind of way. And eventually the cook comes in because Kevin's mom, her plan was to make some kind of stew called booyah soup or booyah stew. It's some kind of traditional stew they make, I guess, when people have babies or whatever. But the maid comes in and lets her know that the chicken is done and it's ready for her to make the soup. And so Charity offers to go down and do it, but the mom tells, she said, no, you stay here and rest. I'm going to go and do it, because she wanted to cook anyway. As a matter of fact, early on in the episode, she was wanting to go to the grocery store to get all her ingredients. But Kevin told her, he said, no, the maid has already got everything you need. You don't have to do anything. And she didn't really appreciate that either. She actually wanted to go to the grocery store herself. So she's not accustomed to people doing everything for everybody. It really offends her that all these people are there waiting on Charity and Kevin hand and foot. I don't know why she mad. You know, some folks just ain't used to nothing. But anyway, so she goes on and she walks off and leaves Charity in there, okay? So then they go back and they show Gigi and Nash again. They're finished their batting practice or whatever. And he's walking her to the car. And as she's getting ready to leave, of course, he's leaning in, looking at her. They stare at each other. He wants a kiss, of course. But Gigi, instead, because she's not trying to rush anything, she reaches over and she kisses him on his cheek, real sweet like. And he accepts that. He appreciates it and everything. And you see he really likes her. And she tells him it feels like she's been living in the past ever since she's got home because of what she's been dealing with Mac. And he tells her, well, he says, today is now the future for you. And she was like, you know, it's a date. It's a start. It's a start. And she needed that date. It was good for her. And it's a step in the right direction, her going out with him. Because she's trying to move on from Mac, but she's going to have to deal with Mac. Some kind of way she's going to have to reconcile her anger from Mac. She's going to either have to let it go, what he did, or she's just going to have to confront it somehow, okay? So anyway, he accepts her kiss on the cheek, and he asks her, am I going to see you again? And she says, yeah, at some point. And he lets her get on in the car, and she leaves. Okay. Now they're showing back to Basil's wife. They're back at the church after the youth conference. And Basil's wife runs into Clarissa because Clarissa has come to pick the girls up, Sophia and Zora. Well, when she runs into Basil's wife, Basil's wife, who of course her and Basil at one point lived in the parsonage, and she offered in the last episode, she offered to help Clarissa to decorate the home, and she's still very much adamant about helping her to decorate her house. So she runs up to her and she says, she's real pushy, and she keeps on offering to help. She's like, Clarissa, I can help you decorate your house. And Clarissa's like, no, I don't need any help. I'm good. I can take care of it. She said, no, I can help you. I promise you. She said, I've just been busy and working. I've been doing things, and I'm going to take care of it. And Basil's wife keeps insisting that she can help Clarissa. I mean, she's going to try to let her help her decorate her house. She's like, we can find out what you like, and we can go online and do some ordering and whatever you want. And so finally Clarissa tells her, no, I think I'm going to do it all myself. Well, Basil's wife is obviously offended. She doesn't take too kindly to the fact that Clarissa turned her down, even though the woman had told her 5 times that she was okay and she didn't need her help. She didn't want to take no for an answer, but you could tell her whole mood and her attitude changed. This is where Basil's wife gets messy at this point, and she's trying to hurt Clarissa's feelings at this point because she hurt hers. So what she did, she tells her, she says, Zora didn't come into this conference today. She done snuck up out this conference. She done got like Elvis. She has left the building. And she tells Clarissa, and Clarissa's like, well, what, really? She's like, yeah, she's gone. And she says, but Sophia covered for her. But she says, I'm not trying to insinuate that you don't know how to keep up with your own children or keep a handle on your own kids or anything. She said, I was just trying to, and Clarissa finished her sentence. She's like, you was trying to help, right? She's like, yes, I was trying to help, but she was trying to hurt her feelings. She told her that to piss her off. If Clarissa had never rejected her, Basil's wife would never have told her about Zora. Okay? So Anyway, she says, yeah, I just wanted to tell you that. And she walks off and leaves her there. I can tell you from that confrontation, Clarissa and Jacob won't be at Triumph for long. I can't see them staying there that long with that kind of friction between the wives. Okay? I just don't see it, but we'll just have to see what happens. Okay? Okay, so after that confrontation, they show Clarissa dropping Sophia off at Gigi's office. Now, at this point, remember, she just found out that Zora has snuck out of the conference and that Sophia covered for her. So she takes her out there. She leaves Sophia in the hallway and she goes into Gigi and she says, Gigi didn't even expect her to pick up Sophia, obviously. So Gigi was like, well, thank you, Clarissa. You didn't have to pick her up. I didn't expect you to do that. I was going to go get her myself. So she's like, no, I just wanted to come over here because Zora skipped the conference today and Sophia covered for her. Or she snuck out and Sophia covered for her. And Gigi's like, well, that's not good. So, Gigi got a problem with it now. So she says, I'll take care of it. I'll talk to her. So Clarissa leaves and she gets out in the hallway and snatches whatever Zora had in her hand. She's mad, pissed with Zora. And Sophia is scared because she know her mama finna go off. So her mom's like, Gigi's like, get in here. Okay, and so you see, and before Clarissa leaves, she tells her, I found a school for Danielle to go to. She's going to be going to York. She can start Monday if she wants to. So Gigi thanks her, and then Clarissa tells her, you're welcome, and she leaves. Okay. And then they show, so that's the end of that scene. So then they show Lady May. She's going across the street from Calvary. She walks over to Triumph's church, and she goes to the construction site, and Jacob is out there directing, supervising the construction workers, okay? So he done been turned into a preacher and a construction supervisor, all right? So she goes to talk to Jacob about Clara calling her, about Clara letting her know that he went to see her. And he tells her, he said, you didn't have to come over here. I came over to the church. And she said, I didn't want to embarrass you. And Jacob says, it wouldn't have been no embarrassment. She said, how do you know? Don't be so sure about that. So she lets him know that she talked to Clara, and Clara told me you came to see her. He was like, I didn't ask her for any money or anything, but May was mad at the fact that he went, period. He said, you showed your face over there. She was embarrassed, and she didn't like the fact that he did that. So she goes off on him about that, and she then tells him, she says, the real reason. She tells him basically what she'd been wanting the bishop to tell him all along, but the bishop wouldn't get the nerve to tell him about Basie. So she says, the only reason that Basie gave you this church is because the man, Daryl James, that got burned up in the First Baptist Church 30 years ago, that was Basie's father. And so Jacob stops and he looks. Oh my God. And she said, he's using you because he's angry with your father. And Jacob was like, how do you know that for sure? She's like, he told him himself. Because he did go to his office, remember? And so he was like, well, that's okay. Everything ain't perfect. He's like, he should be mad. He should be mad. I understand why he's mad. So Jacob was like, everything ain't perfect. It's okay. He's like, this is my chance. I'm finally going somewhere. And so he basically, Jacob has lost all integrity. He has no standards at all. He's saying he don't care that this man is trying to use him. He's now got a position since his daddy, the bishop, fired him and he had nowhere to go and he needed something to do. Why not do this? It doesn't matter why Basie gave it to him, but as long as he's got this job now. And of course, Lady May has lost respect for Jacob in this conversation, and she says something else smart to him about the day she meets the Lord and about taking comfort in something. But she talks about between him and his sister, she calls Gigi his renegade sister. And she just saying that both of them are really disappointing her is basically what she was saying. Y'all have both disappointed me. You and that renegade sister of yours. And he was like, I knew you was going to bring up Gigi's name at some point. And so eventually he tells his mother, he said, I'm 48 years old and this is my last shot at success. What else am I going to do? But I'm telling you right now, Clarissa might ruin it for him. Okay, whatever he thinks he's going to get over there at that church, Clarissa might ruin it for him. And it feels like time is running out. and everything. But that Lady Mae don't want to hear that. She feels like you stupid, you wrong, you letting this man use you. You need to get on out of this church, okay? Basically come beg your father's forgiveness. That's what Lady Mae wants him to do. And she leaves. She tells him goodbye and she walks on back to the church. Okay. Y'all need to go back and watch that scene for yourself, because there's a lot of words exchanged between Lady Mae and Jacob. But her telling him he was wrong for going to see Clara, and her telling him he's stupid for staying there working for a man that's only using him. Okay. So then they go to a scene where Gigi is she's still getting on to Sophia. Sophia laying across the bed quiet. Gigi standing there looking at her. And she's asking her, what else am I going to hear? Is that all that happened today? And Sophia assures her, yes, Mom, that's all that happened. Zora left and went with Isaiah. But, of course, Gigi gets on to her. She said, don't you ever cover for nobody like that again, because something could happen and, you know, we wouldn't know anything about it. And so she tells her to get ready for dinner. Sophia don't want to go because she upset. She said, I done told you get ready for dinner. Gigi done got real stern with Sophia. Now she don't play no games with that girl. And I like that. She had like a real black mama now. So anyway, so after that incident, they show them all at the dinner table in the Greenleaf house. You've got Kevin, you've got Charity, you've got Kevin's mom, you've got Gigi, you've got Sophia, you've got May, and you got the bishop. Kevin's mom tells the whole family while they're sitting there having a conversation, and the bishop and all of them are basically giving her accolades, like, you must really be a good grandmama, you must really want to be a grandmother, because you are here, you're going over and beyond the call of duty. I mean, they're sitting there having pleasant talk with her and everything. And he asked her, why hadn't you been down here to see the baby yet? What took you so long? And she said, you tell me why I hadn't been here. And that's when, in front of everybody, she starts talking, and she says, I hadn't seen this boy since, or talked to him since before this baby was born. I tried to call him several weeks before Charity had the baby, and I couldn't even get him to call me back. So all of this comes out. And she gets up and gets upset, and at some point she gets up and he leaves the table first, because she done went off on him and told his business. So Kevin leaves the table first, and when he leaves the table, eventually she leaves. She's like, I can't eat a bite, because they were expecting this booyah to come to the table, this stew she's made. And so they get up. No, she gets up and leaves the table too, because she says she cannot digest the bite as long as her son is upset. So she leaves the table, and after that, you find out the truth that don't nobody want to eat that booyah nowhere. They were just trying to be nice. They was like, ooh, child, well, I'm finna get up and go find me something else to eat. Lady Mae didn't want to eat that. And thankfully, the maid had made some sandwiches. And so Sophia jumped up and she's like, I'm starving. So everybody leaves the table except Gigi. Gigi's sitting around trying to figure out what in the world just happened. At one point, even Charity got mad with May, because May told Charity, she says, I kind of understand the way Kevin's mom feels after y'all didn't tell her what's going on. Y'all around here keeping secrets. And what's really going on with y'all? And Charity jumps up. She's like, I'm so sorry that you upset and that we ruined your dinner. And she walks off with her crazy stuff. Okay. So they just ruined dinner. They had this beautiful table setting set up, and it was ruined. Okay. Ruined. Just absolutely ruined. So then, y'all, we coming to the end now. So sorry, y'all, I'm eating Ruffles. I'm a little hungry. So Kevin is back in the room. His mom comes in the room and sits down on the side of the bed to talk to him. And he finally, after she keeps asking him what could be so bad, what's the problem, he did not want to tell her. He was like, Mama, can't you just leave well enough alone? And she was like, what could be so bad? So he finally says, Mom, I've been staying in a hotel all of this time. And she was like, what, did you cheat? Have you cheated? He's like, no, I didn't cheat. She's like, well, if you did cheat, you can tell me, you know. He was like, no, I didn't cheat or anything like that. So finally they got quiet. And it dawns on her what the problem was. She says, oh. And she asks him, she says, that, huh? And he's like, yeah. She's like, does Charity know? He was like, yeah. So basically, all this time she knew her son was gay. She knew he was gay. She's just been playing right along with him this whole time. She knew he was gay or struggling with this issue. And so she asked him, she's like, what are you gonna do? He's like, I don't even know. He don't even want to think about it. So he sits down on the bed beside her, and she tries to comfort him. She's patting him on the back and everything like a mother does. And so they leave off of that scene, real pitiful like. So the next scene, they're showing Jacob back at the parsonage, him and Clarissa and Zora. He's going off on Zora, getting on to her, telling her she better not ever see that Isaiah boy again. He better not call you. He better not come around his house. You better not go around his house. I don't even want to hear his squeaky little voice through the door in your room. I don't want to hear nothing. And I got it. So he pretty much bans her. He told her he'll ground her for life if he ever catches her with him or hears about her being with this Isaiah kid. I mean, she just, he should have beat her. He should have whooped her. But anyway, because, back in my day, when I was growing up, my mom probably would have whooped my butt and grounded me. I would have known better. Even at 16, that probably would have been the last whooping I ever got in my life. But anyway, so finally, they're going to show Charity and them baby. That's a funny looking little baby, bless her heart. But they finally showed that little baby face and everything. The mom is getting ready to leave, and she's playing coochie coochie coo with the baby, telling the baby, you just a perfect little baby and everything. And Charity walks up smiling, and Charity sees, and Charity's like, you can come back and visit anytime you want. And his mother says, you just call me and let me know when you want me to come back. And Charity agrees, and so she basically leaves after that. Okay, so Lady Mae, they show Lady Mae back up in the part of the house where Jacob and Clarissa was living at. And she done finally released and got him out of her system after that conversation she had with him. She lost some respect for him, so she okay with him being gone now. So she's actually redecorating the room. She's picking colors of paints for the room. So that's where she is at, at this point in the game. She's okay with Jacob being gone, and she's making plans for her part of the house, okay? For that part of the house, all right? So then they show Jacob and Basie again. Jacob is walking out of the Triumph Church, and he runs into Basie. And Basie asked him for an update on Clara, and he told him he couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. He said, I couldn't ask her for no money because she had already told me people been begging her for money and everything, and I'm going to leave her alone. But he assures Basie that he's going to get it. And Basie said, how you going to get that money for that church? As if this is yet and still Jacob's responsibility. I mean, Jacob has some input, but it's ultimately Basie's responsibility. It's his church. So he says, how you going to get that money? And so he tells him, I'm going to get it. I assure you I'm going to get it. And Basie tells him, he said, I don't care where the check comes from as long as we get the check. Okay? So anyway, he said, don't worry about it. I take care of it. And so now during this conversation, Jacob is real choppy and short with him. Jacob is getting frustrated with him. Remember, at this point, Jacob knows why he hired him. So I don't care what he says to Lady Mae. I don't care how much he acts like he doesn't care that Basie is using him. I do believe in the back of his mind, he's thinking about the fact. He's thinking about it, and I'm sure he doesn't like it. Okay? So anyway, he walks off and he leaves Basie. Okay? So then Gigi and Danielle's mom are at the hospital because I guess Danielle is getting ready to leave the hospital. And Gigi's talking to her mother, and she tells her mother about this school that she's gotten in, and the mother's grateful for it and she's thankful for it. And she assures the mother wants to make sure that she's going to be there to talk to Danielle. And Gigi tells her, you can call me and you can talk to me too, basically. I talk to both of y'all is what she was saying to her. And so Gigi feels a whole lot better. The girl, she has accomplished something. She's gotten the girl in another school and everything. And so she looks at them. The mother goes into the room with Danielle. And so Gigi eventually leaves, I'm sure. Let's see. Hold on, y'all. I can't even read my own handwriting here. Oh, she tells her, the mother says she's going to finally, I'm going to get my daughter all the help that she needs. The girl should have been getting counsel years ago. But now, after she's tried to kill herself, the mother has decided that she's going to get her every bit of help that she needs. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. If she had gotten her some help a long time ago, the girl may not have ever tried to kill herself. Okay? So then it shows Kevin standing out on the porch. We're coming to the end, y'all. Kevin is standing out on the porch, and he takes a dose of that Apoquel. He's out with the baby, out on not on the porch, but he's out on a dock on the property of Greenleaf. and he's standing over the water. And while he's out there with the baby, he turns around and he takes a sip of this ipecac syrup, which means he was obviously standing up there thinking impure thoughts. And we know, since he's struggling with homosexuality, what those thoughts probably are. Okay, but yeah, he takes a shot of it, and then they change scenes, and they go to Gigi. She's walking into the church, and she's walking up the vestibule, up the hallway, and Denise is sitting at her desk, and she overhears Denise talking on the phone to her daughter, Leah. I think her name's Leah. She's talking to her daughter. Her daughter is trying to get her, begging her to come and pick her up. But Denise is like, I can't leave. You can walk. You're not that far from the church. I mean, you're not that far from here. Just walk. You got 50 yards and you'll be there. She said, I can't get away right now. So when she's on the phone, Gigi walks up to her and she says, is that Leah? And she said, yes. She said she ran into Mac downtown, and it threw her a little bit. And see, I had forgotten that Denise's daughter had also been molested by Mac when she was younger too. So that's another thing. So she was like, I'm so sorry, Gigi. Gigi was like, no, don't you be sorry. There's nothing to be sorry for. Okay? So you know, at this point, Gigi is real pissed. She walks away and she's getting ready to go in her office, and she stops and she looked, and in that moment, I knew Gigi had to do something. Mac is terrorizing all the young ladies in town. I mean, he done slept with, there's no telling how many young girls he's messed with. And Gigi is just pissed at the fact that he's around here free, and these girls got to live in fear like this. Okay? So that night, they show Gigi going to Mac's apartment complex. She gets out of the car and she's got a bat in her hand. Okay, so we know what she's fixing to do. So you remember when she went to the batting cage and she done practiced? Oh, she done had good practice. So she started bashing his windows off. Of course, the alarm on his car goes off. He hears it. She was trying to get him to come out anyway, I believe. He comes outside and he runs out there. He sees her. He mean mugs her. She done bust out about 3 or 4 of his windows on one side of his car. Okay, she did some damage. And she stares at him. He stares at her. They look at each other real hard. And she turns around and she leaves. So that's pretty much, he's standing there looking crazy, glaring at her as she walks off. So that's pretty much how the show went off. I don't know if she's going to regret doing what she did. I don't know if Mac is going to try to get her back. But Gigi got an in for Mac. They're about to do battle. She just can't get over the fact that he's walking free, and you can't blame her for that. So we're going to see. I can't wait to see what happens next episode. But I'm telling y'all, I don't know if I gave a good rendition of what happened in this episode. I told y'all a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff I left out because it's real detailed as well. But this is a really good show as well. It's deep. And I just love what's her name? Lady May. The one that plays her, that played Josephine Baker. What is her name? Lynn Whitfield. Lynn Whitfield is amazing as Lady May. I could not think of a better person to play that role. And Keith David that plays the bishop, he's wonderful in this role as well. I mean, everybody on here is good. They make all the storyline believable. So when you get a chance, please go back. You don't have to go back to last season. Just start at episode 1 from this season. But let me know your thoughts on what happened in the episode. I may have misinterpreted some things that I saw. Put it in the comments for me. But thank you for tuning in or for checking me out. This has been a Fair Play review, y'all. I've got to do my Empire review. I've got to stick to my guns and do what I said that I was going to do. But once again, thank y'all. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.